Mary from brambleberry.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use our brand new gray sea salt from France. That's part of the Salt of the Earth collection at Brambleberry. Today we're going to be using it in these really beautiful, gorgeous bath fizzies. I especially like them because the salt adds a little bit of hardness to the texture, and so they are pretty durable, meaning you can ship them pretty easily. These bath fizzies, in keeping with the idea of a salt bath fizzy, also have seaweed extract, which is in a fractionated coconut oil for a little bit of extra skin-loving ingredients, and the brand new sea salt and lily fragrance. They smell incredible, fresh, herbaceous. They smell like ozone. They smell like if you were hand harvesting salt in Brittany, France, and really caught a whiff of the fresh sea air. So herbs and bath fizzies are totally one of these, like, you love them or you don't, because what happens is when you toss this in the tub, the salt dissolves, the baking soda helps to soften skin, and then you're left with herbs that kind of float on top. But they are so pretty that I could not use these beautiful cornflowers because they stay blue and they're gorgeous, and they do provide some beautiful kind of color variation and texture contrast to the French sea salt. So bath fizzies generally are 2 parts baking soda, sodium bicarbonate to 1 part citric acid. And what that means, it's 2 cups to 1 cup, 2 ounces to 1 ounce, anything that's a part. You always want to sift this though, because one of the ways you get a nice smooth looking bath fizzy is by sifting. You don't want poof. You don't want any sort of lumps or clumps in there. If you don't like to breathe baking soda up your nose, some of our soap makers and toiletry makers like to wear masks during this process, just because their noses get a little tickly. I just sift it all through, and then you can push it through with your hands. And of course, if you're making these to sell, make sure you're wearing gloves. Also, you might want to wear gloves anyways, just because if you have fingernail polish, the baking soda does an incredible job at exfoliating all the nail polish right off your fingernails, which is no fun. So now I'm left with a little bit of clumps, and I'm just going to push them on through. And there we go. Now I'm just going to add my gray sea salt. I love that texture. It is just gorgeous. It's very mineral rich, and it gives it slightly almost a more moist feel than a regular traditional kind of more table salt. And that's also where the color comes in. This is the naturally occurring minerals that are in this product from France. So this is totally optional, but you know how when you're taking a bath and there's a little bit of oil that's in your bath fizzy and it rises to the surface, and then the oil just kind of sits there and you're like, what's happening with the oil? If you add just a little bit of polysorbate to your recipe, that acts as an emulsifier that helps to make the water and the oil emulsify. So in this recipe, I'm not using that much. Actually, I'm just using 0.1, literally 0.1 ounces, because I only have about an ounce of actual oil in here. But that's going to help the water and the oil that's in the seaweed extract emulsify. So in the tub, it really ends up mixing as opposed to having that oil float on the surface. I'm going to do a full ounce of the seaweed extract. It's extra skin loving. Supposedly seaweed helps with redness and that kind of stuff as well. And of course it's in a fractionated coconut oil, so that's going to help with moisturizing the skin and really conditioning the skin as well. And then I'm going to do 0.6 ounces of my fragrance. And that does feel like maybe a little bit a lot. It feels like a lot. But on the other hand, what you're going to find is that you are scenting an entire bathtub, and an entire bathtub is pretty big. So I'm going to do with 0.6 ounces here, and this sea salt fragrance with lily in it from Brambleberry smells so good coming out of the bottle. Just, again, the ozone, the fresh notes, the lily smells amazing in it, just that kind of white floral note. And now I'm just going to go ahead and mix everything. I'm going to mix it with a spoon to start with, just because it's pretty wet right now. And then I'm going to get my hands in there and just kind of start mixing and really work those clumps out. And then if I need to, I can always do witch hazel, but I don't think I'm going to need to. Before I add my witch hazel and really make sure that this is the right consistency, I'm going to prep my molds. So these are the cool interlocking Brambleberry molds where you can just put the top on them. And then this is like a nice hanging thing, or good travel container to travel like that. But I'm going to put just a little bit of salt and a little bit of cornflour in the bottom of all of these. So that way, once this is fully wet and ready to go, I can just, well, put a little bit in and just push down. And you don't want to totally fill the bottom of the cavity with your salt and your corn flour, because if you end up doing that, the kind of tops of the bath fizzy just get a little crumbly, and that's not what you want. So just a little, just be thinking kind of subtle amounts of salt. And you could do half and half. You could do kind of what I've done here, which is just a mixture. And now what I'm gonna do is just kind of check to see, is this gonna stick together? Now this is close, but it's not quite there. Think pie crust consistency is what you want. I'm gonna get a little bit of witch hazel, and I'm just gonna spray while mixing. And the key for using witch hazel is, of course, it's a liquid, but it's not water, so it's not gonna set off the fizzing reaction so long as you keep stirring continually throughout. So just kind of keep stirring continually throughout while you wet your mixture just a little bit. And witch hazel has just enough naturally derived alcohol in it that it's gonna evaporate out too from your mixture and not be in there. Witch hazel is a natural astringent, however, so it's totally skin safe and skin loving. So now I'm gonna check this again. And this is much better, sticking together like a pie consistency. So I'm just gonna fill my molds. And the way to fill these molds is there's like a little channel up at the top, and you don't want to get the bath fizzy mixture into the channel, because then you won't be able to actually close your travel container and your nifty mold that ends up working as a storage container as well. So when you're doing this, you kind of just move your finger around here so that you clean out the channel really well. And then you can just do this and you're ready to go. And you want these to stay in like overnight so they get nice and hard before working to pull them out. I can already see it looks so cute. So these have been sitting overnight. They're pretty easy to pop out. You just turn them over, push out, and since they have a lot of salt in them, they're very hard and they pop out really easy. These are ready to use right now. If you want to package them up for sale, they do beautifully in bags as well as in like saran wrap and that type of thing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so that way you get notified every time we have a new video. And make sure when you're putting your creations on social media, you hashtag us by #BrambleOn so we can see what you're making. Until next time, everyone, thanks for watching. People, I am a poet. I am a poet. You are welcome. I know.
All right. Okay.
I just love bath bombs so much.